Good morning, Public Works family. Thank you all so much. You all look so beautiful. Thank you for coming out to our annual Black History Month celebration. This is the third celebration of this type in our department, and we're going to have a good time this morning. My name is Dadisi Najib. I'm a public information officer here with the department, and I wanted to just say thanks once again for coming out, and we're introducing our Director of Public Works, Mohammed Nuru, who's going to come up and speak to us. He is the first African American, first Black Director of Public Works for San Francisco, and we are so excited this morning to hear from him, and I'm going to hand the mic to him today. Thank you.
Good morning, everybody. How are we all doing? Okay? Yeah, I want to first of all start by just congratulating and thanking the team that put all these events together. I mean, this is our third year, but a few weeks ago, a team came to the office and said, we really need to take this to another level. And have they taken it to another level? Yes! All right. So we'll thank them. But I just want to start by saying Happy Black History Month. Black History is definitely a month that we should celebrate. It's a time when we celebrate our leaders in the community. It's a time when we celebrate the history of what Black people have done in this country. It's a time when it gives us an opportunity to be better stewards of the privileges that we have gained from Black people. That is very, very important. It's a time when we can talk about the culture of what Black people have done. It's also a time when all of us can be aware of the different cultures here. And when I was coming here, I was thinking of, what is the message that I should be giving our team. And I think very, very importantly, I started working here in 2000. And when I came here in 2000, I can tell you the environment was very, very different than it is now. And many of you know that, right? And many of you know that, And that environment was a very, very hard for some of us. When people come to a workplace, they want to be able to walk around everywhere. They want to be able to say hello to everybody. And they really want to go home feeling that, hey, everybody was nice to me. When I got here, that was not the case. Yeah, and many of you know that. Many of you who have long timers, many of you know that. And through sharing what Black people have done, through sharing our experiences, through working together with all people, we've actually made this place a better place, right? Yeah, and it's a much better place for those of you who were here. My first week on the job, and I tell you this story because these are real stories. My first week on the job, I had to go down to the courthouse, and we had a big lawsuit of people who are not being treated correctly and stuff, and those were actual facts, and whatever those reasons were, that type of stuff should not happen in this place, right? And so, we have come a long way, and I'm very, very proud of all of us, for all working together, for all accepting, no matter where we come from, no matter, what we have done, that we're all trying to do the work that the people expect of us as one team, and I'm very, very proud of the team that has put this together because they came from all parts of Public Works to put it together, and all colors of people came to put it together. And that is very, very important because that's what I'm about. When I took this job, the number one thing for me was to make sure that whether you're from engineering, architecture, accounting, or wherever you were from, that we were one and that we all try to work together. And all our meetings that we have down at the various places where we talk about what we do is all about us coming together. And we're doing a really good job. And the reason why I can tell you we're doing a good job is because I can't begin to tell you the number of other departments who come to me and say, how are you doing this? How is everybody working together? Why are you guys doing so well? Because we have all accepted each other, And so Black History Month is a time when we will celebrate and know what our leaders have given us. We'll celebrate all the great things that happen, that Black people have done. And we will have a lot more celebrations, but this one is just, I feel so good to be in the hands of all of you. And I just want to thank you for everything that you do for Public Works every day. I am very, very proud to work with all of you, and I'm very, very proud of Public Works. Happy Black History Month.
We definitely appreciate Mohammed. Happy Black History Month, everybody. Yes. Thank you for joining us. Thank you for joining us. Today we're going to have a panelist of special guests. I'd like to ask them to come up to the front of the stage if possible. Come on down. For those of you that don't know me, my name's Natasha Reed. I'm a structural engineer for Public Works. Yes, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. I'm also one of the hosts for Public Works TV. And I'm your host today. Yeah, thank you, thank you, thank you. Okay, so we have a panelist of lovely people here. I'm going to ask them to introduce themselves and also to tell us where you're from, where you were raised, and also your role in San Francisco Public Works.
So good morning, everyone. My name is Jumoke Akin Taylor, and I was born in Nigeria and raised half and half. I got to this country when I was 16. So I would say I've spent more of my years here. It's been 35 years in this country now, so it's home for me. And I'm with BDC, Project Management. My background is civil and construction engineering.
My name is Northwest McCullough. Everybody knows me as Pooh. I was born and raised here in San Francisco in the Western Addition, also known as the Fillmore District. August the 4th will be 19 years I've been here at Public Works. The longest job I've ever had. Right now my role here with Public Works, I'm an acting operations supervisor 2 overseeing the graffiti unit.
Welcome, everyone. My name is DeJada Durden. DeJada Durden, also known as Jada. Born and raised in San Francisco in the Western Addition, also known as Fillmore. Been a cement mason for 24 years. I've been with the City and County of San Francisco for 15 years. My role is a supervisor 2, cement mason, over the cement shop for DPW. So, very proud to be sitting here.
Thank you, thank you. Okay, so when I was a kid, I wanted to be Janet Jackson or a fly girl. Then I realized that I couldn't sing or dance, so I'm an engineer now. So maybe like when you guys were kids, you wanted to be something else, and what changed so that you can become who you are today? We'll start with Jada.
Okay. So when I was a kid, I wanted to be a firewoman. I wanted to fight fires. On Webster, they had a fire department that always came and saved lives in Fillmore, right? But then life changed. Babies came. Things happened. Went a different route. The long path, and that long path put me on this path to be a mason in construction.
Well, honestly, myself, when I was growing up, I didn't know what I wanted to be. But I know I was making a lot of bad choices. And I'm the oldest of 8 brothers and sisters. And I kind of like really had to get my life together. I had a run in or two with the law. And after that, I kind of like really looked at myself like, what is it I want to do? So I was involved in Omega Boys Club. And they kind of like started steering me on the right path. So one day I had seen a friend of mine in Nikita, so I really like owe this all to her because she told me, she said, you know, DPW is accepting applications for one day only. And I said, man, they're not gonna hire me. I said, me? So she said, you know what? Go fill out the app anyway. So I took a chance. I went and filled out the app. Took them a year to call me, but they called me. And I've been here ever since. And I plan on staying until I retire.
So for me, it depends on what year I was. I mean, how old I was. I wanted to be Queen Elizabeth, and then I wanted to be Mother Teresa. I wanted to be a pharmacist. I wanted to be different kinds of people. But I think one of the people that really inspired me the most is Martin Luther King. When I started reading about him, and I realized that there was something that I wanted to do with my life, and I wasn't sure what it was at that age. Probably about 18, when I had already gotten into this country, and it was a history book that we had read about civil rights movement. And so he was one of the people that kind of really inspired me to stay on the straight and narrow and not kind of deviate from being focused. So I would say maybe Martin Luther King is who inspired me the most.
Okay. Overcoming obstacles is a story of many Americans, and some of us more than others. Please share a couple that have helped shape you.
The major turning point in my life was when I lost my freedom. I went to jail for some bad choices, and I really could do time. It was easy, but the problem was my kids suffered. Christmas, I missed Christmas. I saw what they got on Christmas. I missed Thanksgiving. I didn't get to sit with them, and I realized that the choice that I made made them suffer. So while I was in jail, I had the opportunity to meet some construction workers and also hear their story. And when I got out, one person, I want to say, Ms. Givens, directed me to our neighborhood community center, and I got my job. And I knew then when I took my first job in construction that I was making choices for my children, not me. So that's what kept me straight in line and focused on things that I needed to do. So jail was a big issue. That was a big obstacle. But really seeing my children's faces as babies missing me, and I can't make a choice for them sitting in jail.
Well, kind of like what Jada was saying, for me it was kind of like almost the same situation. You know, making bad choices in life and really looking at yourself and deciding what it is you want to do. You know, do you want to continue to make the bad choices, or do you want to straighten yourself up and do something right and positive? And like I said, I owe it all to my friend Nikita, because if she wouldn't have told me about DPW accepting applications, I probably wouldn't be here today. And I'd probably be off in somebody's jail or dead somewhere. You know, so I really owe all this to her. And once I started making the right choices, everything else came natural. I mean, so I wouldn't go back to that life for nothing in the world. You know, I wouldn't do it. I'm happy here. This is my like extended family. You know what I mean? We all work together. So you know, this is where I'm gonna be until I go down there and sign the retirement papers. Right here.
For me, it was a period when I suffered many losses. I had lost my sister, lost my husband all within 7 months. And I also had a setback in my career. And my daughter asked me a question. She says, "Mom, how do you feel?" And I said, "Broken." And she said, "Well, good." And I looked at her and she says, "Because you get a chance to rebuild yourself. You get a chance to to build a better you." And those words stuck with me for a very long time. And so I bounced back and just said I was determined to be a better me, not because of anything else, not how the world perceived me, not the limitations that were set for me, but I just felt this was building a better me, was an opportunity to become a better person. And just realizing that it wasn't about me. Everything that I do is not just about you. It's not about who you are. It's about the people you represent. It's about the community you represent, just everything. And so that helped me kind of stay focused and determined to be a better me for those that will come behind me, for those that look at me and say I represent a group of black women. So that was one of the things that really motivated me to stay focused in spite of challenges. And I always share that challenges are things that I look at as building blocks. They're opportunities for you to step up and move up to the next level. And I don't step on people's toes, I just cross over them. So, so that, yeah, I don't step on toes, I just cross over them. So that's one of the, I think those are some of the changing, so many at different, again, at different stages in life, but most recent one was that period when I felt really broken.
All right, thank you. We all have role models, and you guys kind of touched on that. Today I'm channeling Oprah so that I can ask you guys these questions. But who are your role models or mentors or inspirational figures, and how did they help you develop professionally? You can start with Jim, okay, if you want to switch up the order.
I think I'm one of those that have had different role models at different periods in my life. And here, maybe Mohammed should leave the room, but he's one of the people that really inspire me to be better while I'm here. And I sat with him and Harlan, I think it was last year before last. And we did this interview in preparing for Black History Month. And throughout talks, not once did they really talk about how they were treated or the kind of issues they had. There was no bitterness, there was no anger, it was just service. And listening to him talk about just all he wanted to do was just serve. And Romel and I went back and we were like, oh my God, that's deep. And so that started to change my mindset about my career and started channeling me towards service. Because it was more like, okay, this is what I want to be, I want to achieve this, I want to be one of the, in PM, I want to be great. But putting it in perspective, that is about service. So whatever I gain, I want to be able to serve my community, I want to be able to serve my people, and I want to be able to serve the world if I'm given the opportunity. So I think those are some of the things that have inspired me. And Martin Luther King is someone that just stays with me. I kind of sleep and wake up thinking about what he did, and he was just giving his life, not for anything that he's enjoyed, but for those that are coming behind him. And I looked at, he's one of the people that gave me the opportunity to be able to sit here today. And so that's service, ultimate sacrifice. And so those are the kind of things that inspire me.
So for me, I had two role models. One is my dad, and one was Dr. Joe Marshall from the Omega Boys Club, because they both showed me and told me that as long as you stay focused, you can achieve whatever you want to achieve. Put your mind to it, just stay determined, and just try your best. Just give it your all, and just go for what you're trying to go for. You know, the sky's the limit. You know, that's like here at the job. If you're a laborer, you know, you might want to advance your career to being a soup one, and from a soup one to a soup two, from a soup two to assistant superintendent. If that's what you want to do, just put your mind to it, give it your all, and go for it. Don't never let nobody tell you you can't do it or nothing like that, because for every time they close the door, kick one open. And just keep going. Just keep moving forward.
I want to say that my mother is my role model. I'm born and raised in San Francisco. When I was a kid, I was living in the projects right there on Laguna Street. And my mother was a nurse. She was going to nursing school. I remember getting up early in the morning, 4 in the morning, going to my grandmother's house, watching my mother go to work. I thought she was the devil. I never saw my mother. My dad was always there for me, you know, and then as I got older, I understood that my mother made sacrifices, because when my sister came, before she came, my mother said, I'm gonna get us out these projects. And we moved out the projects. And then my mother became a nurse. And it was hard and it was a stressful job every day to be a black nurse coming up in the city back in the 80s. And she struggled a lot, and I watched her struggle. And that came from my grandmother, who brought all of her 6 kids from the South. I watched her. I had a lot of strong women in my life at certain phases of my life. So I can't say one person is a person that brought me to this life, because each phase of my life I had a strong woman to push me in the right direction. When I became in apprenticeship school, I met another lady. When I met a friend in apprenticeship school, I met other people. And then when I came to DPW, I met other women who pushed me in the right direction. I'm always the type of person that I see a strong black brother or sister to pull them to the side and say, how did you get where you at today?
There you go.
Why don't you feed me?
Yeah.
And I feel like that I should pass the message on to each and every one of you guys. If you see me and you know me, I'll always speak. I'll always offer help. I try to push people in the right direction. So I think that when they say it take a village to raise a child, I believe that, because I was raised that way.
Thank you. Great answers. Great answers. So, in the pursuit of becoming Oprah, the next Oprah, I've taken several steps. For example, hosting San Francisco Public Works TV, or thank you, hosting today for this Black History event. What are some steps that you have taken to help you continue to grow professionally?
Professionally, okay. I went to Cement Mason School, did the 4 years of apprenticeship. It's actually 3, had a baby while I was in apprenticeship. 5 years ago, I went back to school, graduated from City College with 2 associates from City College, and now I'm currently at SF State in my last year as a senior to get my my bachelor's in business management.
I do a lot of listening and observing, because a lot of the people that came up before me, I like to ask them questions. Like Jada said, how did you get there? What did it take? What did you do? Can you give me some insights as to how I can get there so I can better myself? You know, so I mean, just do a lot of listening, observing. Like they say, less talking, more seeing and listening. And, you know, I think it'll work out. But for me, that's what I do. So, you know.
I think I do a lot of observing. And I also went back to school and felt I needed to get all the certifications I could in that were related to my job, and then join professional organizations, and not just be a member, but a very active participant in the professional organizations. And I also found that that also built my network and also expanded my knowledge base too in the profession. And one of the things that we shy away from is really getting involved in those professional organizations, because we feel maybe there's no room for us. And but there's always room, and I'll go to a lot of events and I'll be the only one like me most of the time, and I felt, no, this shouldn't be so. But people just shied away, so I just reached out to other colleagues and I said, well, there's an event, let's go. And sometimes it will be 2 of us, but I just kept going, participating in the professional organizations. And I think I benefited a lot from just going to those organizations and expanding my knowledge base and even my network.
Thank you, guys. Okay, to close, what advice do you have for your fellow public works employees in pursuit of their professional goals? We'll start with Jamoke.
I think I said this before, knowing that it's not just about you. I think you should set the goal that be determined to make a difference, to know that you are a reflection of a group of people. And whether we believe it or not, you are judged by who you are, by how people see you. And you're determined to kind of dispel perspectives, false perspectives, and focus on being that great person Again, not for yourself, not for how much money you're going to make, but for the generation that is to come, for those that are behind you. The baby boomers, those of us that were born in the 60s, there's that gap. The civil rights movement did a lot that we're benefiting from. And I feel that we should be doing more that our younger ones, the ones behind us, will be benefiting from. So with that focus, then build a better you. Again, like I said, for the village that is behind you, for the community that is coming behind you, so that people have something to look forward to. People have things that paves the way easier for them, just like those before us paved the way that made it easier for us. It's not easy yet, but it's easier. And so we have that responsibility to make it easier for those that are coming behind us. And hopefully someday it would be easy.
I would just say any and all things are possible. If it's something that you want to achieve, just stay focused, be determined, and just give it your all. Don't never give up. Never let nobody tell you that you can't do it. Because if you look at all the elders around here, like Muhammad and Tom and Kenny and all them, they got to retire one day. You know what I mean? So it's going to be up to us to step up and assume these. No, for real. It's going to be up to us to step up and assume these roles. The next assistant superintendent and superintendent and all that, you know? So just stay focused, be determined, and just give it your all.
I want to say that in a picture perfect world, we would like it to be easy. But the fact is, it is hard. It's going to be hard. And you have to work hard to get where you need to be. And if the door closes in your face today, maybe God said that's not the door that you need to go through. And another one will open for you. And that door you step through will be a better door than the door that you thought you were supposed to go to. So don't give up. Reach out to people to ask for help. Some people don't ask for help. Always look out for the person next to you. Stop all of the nonsense. Think about the reflection, how you present yourself, how people look at you. Pick a goal. Try to reach it. That's what we should do. We should stick together. We should not separate each other. We should teach one. Each one teach one. Be there for one another. You know, that's what we should do. So remember, it is hard. It's going to be hard. We would like it to be easy, and that's what we're working hard to make it easier for the ones behind us. But remember, it is hard, and it's going to be hard. So work hard.
All right. Thank you. Give it up for our panelists. Thank you. After a standing ovation. Yes. Thank you guys so much. So at this point, we're going to open it up for questions. Does anybody have a question? Wait. Don't leave us. Not yet. Do we have any questions for our panelists? Anybody? Okay.
I have a question for Jay. Jay, you mentioned a couple of the professional organizations, and Jay's brought me along to some of them. Can you talk about design build or construction management associations that you've been helping to get the city more integrated with?
So Design Build Institute of America is an organization that promotes best practices for the design build methodology. And so I've been fortunate to participate in that organization for about 3 years now, and also to serve on the jury panel in Washington. So that has really, again, given me the opportunity to mix with like Fortune 500 companies that are doing design build, and to learn about the success of their processes, and also share that with my colleagues, like Douglas is talking about. And also Construction Management Association of America. I got appointed to the board of directors for North Cal a couple of years ago. Didn't even know they were looking for people, but someone volunteered me for that position, and serving on the owners committee. So part of what we've been doing is really having roundtable discussions, getting more people involved in it, and helping understand how our processes, how we can do better with our processes, learning from other owners, other public agencies, private entities, just on how to deliver our projects better. Those steps or processes that would help us do better. And so it's been a fun 2-3 years, but it's been very busy, very hectic. It's almost like a 24-hour job, because you got to do your job first, and then you go home, and then you do this other public organization. I mean, this professional organizations. But it's been good. It's kind of brought us together in the PM group, because we do have this after hours event that we go together as a group. So that has been very helpful. Thank you, Douglas.
Thank you, Jay.
First of all, my name is Dion Otis. I've been around a long time. Actually, I watched Muhammad come in the door, so it was much different before he even got here. So when I look around the room, and back then they had one program being ran, he made a big impact. So, one, I want to give you some knowledge. As you know, I don't give knowledge to everybody, but you're worthy of it, man. So I just want you to be known how much an impact you really bring. You know, as we look around this room, as you know, it wasn't close to this. So someone who's seen it and see the work you've done, not now, because now to me, it's more of a cakewalk. Back then, you had to make that adjustment to get where you are. So thank you. You guys understand that it's so much different. He's giving people opportunities, and not just black people, because sometimes we get caught up into that. So no more, but you deserve some acknowledgement.
Thank you. Any more questions? Questions? All right.
So the panelists talked today about how you should reach for your goal and keep trying and keep persevering. But I know that when I have goals, I have an accountability partner. Natasha's my accountability partner. We stretch in the morning. Every morning we reach out, we text each other and say, 7:45, let's meet, and we're going to stretch for 15 minutes. And that has made the journey of meeting my goal, our goals, easier. So how do you reach out, or who do you reach out to as an accountability partner to accomplish your goals?
Good question. I have several accountability partners, and it's almost like a contract where you speak to them. My brother is one of them. He's in the audience. And these are people that you can really be open and transparent with, and people that you know will tell you the truth about yourself. It's looking in the mirror. And it's not just hearing the truth, but being able to do something about the truth. There are times where I throw a tantrum, and I will call my accountability partners, or when I'm really hurt about facing challenges. We all face challenges, whether it's in the workplace, personal, professional, whatever life it is. And I know that those people have my back. And when I speak to them, they know where I'm coming from, they understand. And so I'm not afraid to be vulnerable with them. I think that's also very important, to be very transparent and open with your accountability partner so that you can get the benefit of it.
I have a support group, accountability. People when I'm in a bad way, angry, distraught, they tell me how it is, straight up. I'm a little outspoken, and they'll come back something opposite and make me see where I need to hold myself accountable. And just like she says, it's looking in the mirror and do self-analyzing. And I must say I do need my support group. I need them, and I want to say thank you to them because I need them to keep myself accountable.
I just want to say it's my entire unit. So it's the graffiti public crew as well as the graffiti private crew. And it's like we like an extended family. You know, if one person is going through something, we all going through it. We all have each other's backs. You know, sometimes one of my coworkers be on vacation and still want to call the job. But yeah, no, it's just that, you know, we can all talk to each other, you know, and if somebody is down, one of the other people in the unit is there, you all right, you know, everything good, you know, stuff like that. But like I said, you know, we all family. We extended family here. So as long as we keep that going, everything will be all right.
I know I'm just the host, but I kind of wanted to piggyback off that too. Like a lot of times when you're in a work environment, sometimes you might feel intimidated because you're the only person that looks like you. So just don't be afraid to reach out and talk to somebody. Say good morning. It all starts with a good morning. Hey, how you doing today? You know, and build a relationship from there. And just take everything that you can from everybody.
I just want to say thank you to Muhammad because he changed my life. To be honest with you, I didn't think I'd be here. I think I'd be dead or in jail with the situation that I was faced with at the time in my area. So I just want to say thank you, Muhammad. And with people seeing me work, it brought a lot of more youngsters in here that I seen came from different areas in the San Francisco community. And he changed a lot of people's life because they follow me, not saying they just follow me, but they seen that you can make a change. And I just want to say my kids really appreciate you, Muhammad, because to be honest with you, I was headed for death or jail. And I've been here since 2003. We was one of the first 7501s to come in to the program, and I'm still here going, and I owe it to that man. And thank you, man, from the bottom of my heart.
I know, right? Get my exercise in, get my steps.
Hey, hi panel, how you all doing? Looking fabulous up there. But my question is, we all know the challenges that we face, you know, the communities that we come from day to day. And someone talks about it takes a village to raise a child. So I'm just wondering how would you guys advise us to be a part of that village? So when we go back to our communities, we can, you know, be that village that helps to raise our communities.
First and foremost, you lead by example. Just like this young man said right here, that he changed his life and he started working, then other people see that, and it's a chain reaction. And people see that I could do it, he could do it, I could do it, we could do it. So you lead by example. You work, good hard work ethics, and you be personable, and you treat people how you want to be treated, and you reach out to people who you see are down and ask questions and interact. It's like a disease. It starts to reach out, you know. It starts to spread. Love spreads. It will. Hate do too, but love do. It does. So lead by example.
I just want to add to what Jada said, and having that heart of service. You know, you have to have that heart of service. So that's a very important thing. You can't be selfish. It can't be about you. So that's one of the things that I think I really learned, just knowing that it's not how much you can achieve, it's not the house you live in, but it's the lives that you touch.
This question is for Pooh. Pooh, you know my family, like you know my grandmother, moms, and everybody. Basically, for 20 years, for you to do anything for 20 years is an accomplishment. And when you're younger, you want to like play sports and do things, and then you start to kind of come to the realization that more things are important. What's your, to do what you do for 20 years and want to retire? I admire that, especially for any black man, no matter what he's doing, to to partake in this profession and then retire, and then to teach your children and to raise your kids. What motivated you to do what you did for 20 years?
Well, the first part of it was just watching people. Like I said, I had to change my life. But then what really changed my life was when my son was born in 2004. So now I really have to stay focused and do what I have to do, not just for me, but for my son. My son will be 14 in a week. And by him seeing me get up every day and go to work, stand away from the negativity, and doing what I'm supposed to do as a father and as a man, he gonna pick up all those traits and he gonna want to do exactly the same thing. And that's what I tell anybody. Be a positive role model. If you're gonna talk the talk, walk the walk. You know, show them, especially the kids nowadays. We gotta show them, because if they see all this negativity, that's all they're gonna want to do. Because when I was growing up, that's all I saw. That's all I wanted until I started seeing different. Just set examples. That's all. Lead by example. Show them. It's not that way. It's this way. You know what I mean? And you know, I know your whole family. Know them all. Your mama raised me. You know, your grandmother raised me. And I know you a good dude. I know the type of examples you setting for yours. Keep doing what you're doing. Keep doing what you're doing. And one more thing, if I can say something, I want to salute to Mo. Mo right there, Maurice Sullivan. Been knowing Mo since we was kids. Stand up, Mo. And what he said is real. I've been knowing this dude since we was kids. And just like he said, he was going down one or two roads. And I also want to thank Muhammad, because when Mo came in here, he made a lot of changes. See, a lot of y'all might have not been here, but they had this little clique. And it was a clique, but he broke that up. That's not happening no more. That's not happening. So I think everybody in here really owe Mo a lot of thanks. And I owe you thanks, Mo, because if it wasn't for you, a lot of people wouldn't be here. Appreciate it.
Well, my dad wasn't there for me. He even brought my dad aboard. My dad retired, bought a house in Atlanta, so he helped my family. You know what I'm saying? And I try to bring a lot of youngsters that I know that's going through problems and everything, give them a chance. Because in the streets, you don't really have no chance. It's like follow the leader. You know what I'm saying? And you got to get up under real leaders like where I'm at right now. We're seeing all y'all up there. It's really emotional for me right now because I didn't think I'd be here, to be honest with y'all. So I know it's a way, and I pray every day. I used to then pray, you know, I pray and everything been going well.
This question is for Jada. So you already have your career and you already have like your associate's degrees and everything like you said. So what keeps you motivated to keep going for more? Like you say you're about to graduate, you're in your senior year of SF State. How do you not just get to where you want it to be and just stay there? Like you still want to go for more and more. Like what motivates you?
I like DPW. I love DPW. And I want to see more sisters at the top. And I want to be one of those sisters at the top. Standing alone next to Muhammad and Larry and other people. And I think that if I can make it to the top and get there and reach my goal, then other young sisters and brothers can follow behind me and work hard to get there too. It not only enlightens my heart, but it also because I'm born and raised in San Francisco, and I like to see my community get better and clean up, and I like to go in neighborhoods like Hunters Point and Fillmore and see those communities clean up and people get more involved, and I want to be a part of that. And to be a part of it, I have to get to that level. And to get to that level, you have to educate yourself. They put standards out there to keep us down, unfortunately. But you have to over excel to get there. And you got to work hard to get there. And so that has put me on this path to get where I want to be. And I'm going to get there.
So today we talked a lot about goals and about personal goals and about achieving, and all of you came here today because you RSVP'd on a list. So would it be too much to ask if later you put together lists of your goals and said, I want an accountability partner to partner with somebody in my DPW family, and that you join that and we can continue this forward momentum? Because there are 4 people in the front, but I want to be able to look at all of you in the years to come and see what you've done and share what you've done. This is going to be on SF Gov TV, and so this is a global experience for people. There are people that can come, that can view this segment in Brazil, in Canada, in Madagascar, in China, in Japan, all over the world. So I'm looking forward to hearing more stories and seeing more than 4 people in the front of the room. And I think we can start by having a goal accountability list that you all sign when you RSVP today.
Can you guys hear me in the back? Can you hear me all the way in the back? Okay. Louder? Okay, testing 1, 2, 3. Can you hear me now? Okay. All right, my name is Reuben Johnson, for those of you who don't know me. I was hired when I was in the Navy for a few years. And one of the things I wanted to isolate was I kept seeing all of these different stories. I think Mo was one of the most memorable about rising up from the streets to a position here. I have 31 years this year, permanent time. And I'm in the corridor program for the last decade. So we do the swing shifts and we take people and we try to give them an apprenticeship position so that they can qualify for a better position down the road. Well, anyway, one of the things I noticed out of the 58 counties in California, we have the only community college. And this is something I've gotten some of my people, my personnel, to take up the cause of part-time attending City College of San Francisco, where my first college degree was from there in '86. So I got to step up on you, Jada. I got mine 30 years ago. But the point that I'm trying to say is that when my first degree was from there, and I picked up 2 certificates, and I've sent 7 so far people through there, and I've attended their graduations that worked for me. And then they went on and got jobs like at One Salesforce Tower and in the Bay Bridge and things like that, where they're making more than I do. They're well into 6 digits. I'm not on that level yet. But the point I'm saying is that I want to make this brief. Just like everybody knows you need over $1 million to get a 2-bedroom home in San Francisco. Does everybody know that? Does anybody doesn't know that? Okay, I thought so. Well, an associate degree, either in arts or science, through degree inflation, that's a high school diploma now. And I don't know what they're telling you. I'm ex-Navy. I'm telling you the truth. I'm blunt. And the thing is that the bachelor's degree has turned into the associate degree. Okay, did anybody not understand what I just said? And it's not easy when you're taking micro and macroeconomics. And it's like you keep espousing. It's a tough thing to do, but we're judged. They assume that you have that when you apply for a job. And so the thing that I'm going to say to you is, City College has no tuition. You try to compare that to a school like Stanford or USF or UC Berkeley and see that, and that'll give you your first 2.25 years of college for free. And I was there for 3 years, so I'm telling you, you have opportunities in front of you, and all I'm going to say as I hand back the microphone is take advantage of it, because that will qualify you for other positions down the road. Does that make sense? Okay.
And there are plenty of scholarships too. Don't be afraid to apply to scholarships. They're giving out money. I'm on a scholarship right now. So, are there any more questions? No? No? Well, I want to thank our panelists. Thank you so much. Let's give them a round of applause. And then I'd like to thank our Black History Committee for putting this lovely event together. This is amazing, right? Yes. And then I'd like to thank Mohammed. He's the reason. Can you come forward, Mohammed, please? Can you come forward, please? Just wanted to say thank you. Thank you for everything.
I think just listening to everyone that you've inspired here, and you were one of the reasons we wanted to start this Public Works History, so that if you look on the back of your t-shirts, we have trailblazers. And we felt it was important to start to create our own history, because it's not going to be in the history books, right? So, and Mohammed being our first Black Director of Public Works, he actually is the first. So we want to appreciate you for the support that you've given to the committee, because when we met with you, the ideas, he was right on board, has given us all the support, the t-shirts, the food. Just so wanted to thank you for being an inspiration, for being a trailblazer, and for all the lives that you've impacted. Thank you.
Just a couple of things on the tables over there. They have cards of Black people who have done great things. Take them, give them to your kids, share them. There's a lot of good information. There's a lot of information that you don't know about that you should probably know. It's something, knowledge is strength, and knowledge is powerful, and knowledge is leadership. And then I just want to thank, I see, where's Larry? I mean, obviously I can't do my job without all of you, but Larry. I see John Thomas. John Thomas, our city engineer, is here. I can't do. Ephraim representing, where's Ephraim? Representing Julia Dawson right here. Yep, he's our IT guy. Yeah. And just all of you, we want your feedback from today's session on how we can continue to work together and teach each other and raise our families together and do the things that we heard. Make sure everybody, gets the right courses they want or the right education they want, so that we can all progress and just make life better for all the people who we serve. So thank you.
Thank you guys for attending. I'm Natasha Reed again, and thank our panelists, and happy Black History Month.